It was a very windy day. Katie had already chased her hat down the sidewalk past Yiping's house. Orbie got very dizzy chasing a red leaf as it fell from a tree. Dad gave up raking the leaves because they kept blowing away, and every time Katie threw the beach ball to Orbie, it didn't get there. The wind kept ruining all their games. Dad told her that was because she was playing against the wind, not with it. Just as Katie was trying to figure out what he meant, Mom drove into the driveway. When she got out of the car, she had a package under her arm. "I stopped by the hobby shop and picked up a little something for you two. It's a wind toy." When Mom opened up the package, there was a big red kite inside. It had a stream of ribbons for a tail. I have to tell you that Katie and Orbie had never seen a kite before and were not exactly too sure what to do with it. Now, Dad would show Katie how to play with the wind. He put the kite together by attaching one end of a long string to it. The rest of the string was wrapped around a spool. I should tell you that because Katie had never played with the wind, she was anxious to see how it was done. Mom showed them how to find the wind with a wet finger. And all of a sudden, they were in business. Dad held the string and Mom ran behind the kite and let it go up. Mom said you have to let go of the kite when the wind pulls at it. Mom and Dad raced across the yard until they got the kite up in the air. Katie and Orbie clapped and shouted with joy. Playing with the wind looked like great fun. Dad flew it for a few minutes, then he brought it down and told Katie and Orbie to try it. Orbie ran ahead and Katie held the kite. When she thought she felt the wind pull it, she threw it up in the air. The kite went up and turned and went straight down again, crashing to the ground. They stopped running and looked at it. Dad picked it up and straightened it out. Mom told Katie to just give it to the wind, not to throw it. Katie decided that playing with the wind was something you have to get the hang of. So Katie and Orbie tried again. Katie waited and then just let go. The kite flipped down and dragged along the ground behind Orbie. Mom told Katie to hold it up a bit higher so the wind could get underneath it. Now, I have to tell you that Katie wasn't at all sure that kites were very much fun by this time. Orbie was thinking that kites were a lot of work. But they both agreed to try again. This time, Katie held it up high and let it go at just the right time. Orbie held the rope tight, and all of a sudden, the kite was flying. Dad shouted, "Let it out, Orbie!" Orbie unwound the string. The kite danced high up in the sky. Kite flying was excellent. "It's flying," Katie called to her dad and Mom. The wind lifted and moved their kite until all of a sudden, it swooshed down and almost landed in a tree. Dad told Katie to grab the string and pull hard on it while Orbie held the spool. It missed the tree by inches. Dad jumped up and helped Katie and Orbie bring it down. "This is such a windy day, I think you two would be better playing with the kite in the park. You have a whole field with no trees in it," Dad said. So they all set off for the park. Mom and Dad both nestled down under a tree out of the wind near the playground. Katie and Orbie headed out to the field. The wind really wanted to play. It was taking the colorful fallen leaves and lifting them right up into the air again. They swirled and twisted. Katie stuck her finger up in the air until she found which way the wind was blowing, which was a bit tricky because each time she brought her finger down, she moved it and couldn't remember where it meant to go. Orbie helped her, and finally she and Orbie were headed off down the field. The kite went up very quickly. It climbed and climbed in the sky. Mom and Dad waved from under the tree. "Let it out," Dad called to Orbie, and this was when they ran into trouble. The kite wanted to fly, and the wind wanted to play with it, so it went up higher and higher as Orbie let it out. Soon it looked like a red streak in the sky. Orbie and Katie were laughing and standing with their heads up looking to see where it was when suddenly the kite string broke. Now Orbie gave a whoop and a holler as he and Katie tried to grab the string. And slowly the kite started to move in the sky. the string dragging on the ground ahead of them. The two friends chased the string right across the field, laughing and shouting. Mom and Dad shouted encouragement and watched from the tree. The kite drifted over to the playground, and Orbie was concentrating so hard on the string that he didn't notice the sand pile. He ran right through it. He stepped on some castle and things. And do you know that the kids playing in the sand didn't even mind? They wanted Orbie to catch the kite too. Katie got a bit ahead of the string, and she climbed right up on the monkey bars. She was sure she would catch it. But do you know that the kite dipped up into the sky and went right by her outstretched hand? Then the string came down, and Orbie hurried to the roundabout to see if he could fool the kite. He swung around to grab the string, but it just slid right by. Actually, it seemed quite hopeless. Mom and Dad and, well, everybody tried to stop the kite, but it just kept going. Then Dad stopped chasing it, and Mom stopped chasing it, and all the kids looked at them. Mom said the kite wouldn't get too much further. Katie and Orbie couldn't understand why. The kite was already at the end of the playground and was heading for all the trees and bushes. All of a sudden, the kite stopped and sort of shuddered in the sky. It bobbed up and down, but didn't go any further away. The tree caught the kite for them. Everybody cheered. Dad climbed up and reached the string. It was tricky not getting it caught again, but he did manage it. Slowly, he wound the kite back in. All the kids in the playground clapped their hands. Dad took a bow just to be funny. Katie and Orbie loved playing with the wind. Katie pointed out with all that running and climbing, kite flying was becoming thirsty work, so they all headed home for some orange juice. On the way home, Orbie wanted to know where the wind was blowing to. Dad said a wind that strong might blow all the way around to the other side of the world, to China, so that little children there could fly their kites too. Katie smiled and said, "Maybe our kite flew up so high that the children in China could see it." Everybody laughed. But do you know what? Maybe it did.